Okay, we're ready to take a look at that. See, we've got that off of there nice. Got that all nicely cleaned. All ready to go. See, wow, they had to drill that hole on the field out here at the job site. That must have been hard because this is a cast iron sink. You know, that was for that soap dispenser that we just removed. That was a bear in itself. So, the hardest part of replacing your faucet is always removing the old stuff. You never know what you're going to get into. Every sink is different. I'll have a whole set of things come up on the next one. That's why I don't like doing these, but you know what? Stick with it and you can do it too. Alright, so now here's our new faucet. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all this stuff out of here. I'm going to look at the directions. Hey, anybody out there, you think you can do this without reading the directions? Please don't do that. You get one thing out of sequence, you think, oh, that's what that was. So I always read the directions, even if I have a pretty good idea, 99.9% sure of how this all goes together, because every sink faucet is slightly different. The connections might look a little suspect too, but that's another reason why you've got to read the directions. And like I say, all faucets slightly come in different. See this here, you've got a couple copper ones. Here's that plastic one here, and you're like, what is this? One of these has red on it, one's got blue on it. So I'm gonna pull all this apart, read the directions, and get right back to you. Okay, I've got the sink faucet here. I just put on a table here, and here's my directions. Make sure you go through all of the directions to see what side the washer goes, and you'll have a metal washer, a rubber gasket washer, and you'll have different things. See, here's that big weight ball. This is pretty heavy. This is probably a pound or so. This one here, we're going to unscrew that on both sides, and then it splits, and then you put that on this after we get it down inside of from the counter on down. Okay, we'll do that later. Okay, but now remember, this one here happens to have a base, and it's got a little plastic deal here. And on most faucets, you don't have to use this. You can use this, or lots of times you can leave it out. And it shows you directions on how to do it with and without. You see, there's without, and then there's your trim. See? So you get to decide. And because not all of them have a soap dispenser, remember that came with it, and if you use this base, then there's already a nice hole there, and you put the soap dispenser through there. And here's something else that was really slick. Here's a blank plate, a little gasket here, and then you tighten that down in a hole. Because here's the thought. Let's take you back over here and talk about this really quick. Okay, remember on this existing one we had 4 holes set up here. We had an existing soap dispenser here, then we had the sink faucet here. Now if we use the base, I'm going to end up using the base, and here's why. Because we got 3 holes. The dispenser, the soap dispenser is going to go down through this hole. Here's the faucet. This is going to be covered up, and we just happen to have that extra blank plate. You remember? We got the blank plate, so I'm going to use that to cover up this hole here. Now, most sinks don't have that. So here, let's just imagine now that we don't have that hole. Okay, usually you got a 3 holes sink faucet. Okay, so the idea is if you don't want to use that trim plate, you could put the faucet down this hole here. You can have the soap dispenser here, and you can put this blank plate and fill up this hole here. Now if you're left-handed or something and you want the soap dispenser over here, put the soap dispenser here, put the blank plate over there. So it gives you plenty of options, but like I say, in our case, we're going to put that over there to fill that hole up. Then we don't have to go to the store and buy something special for that, right? Because see, if we didn't use the trim at all, we'd have to put a plate here, the faucet here, the soap dispenser here, and another blank plate over there. You know, or vice versa. You can set it up any way you want. Usually they put the faucet right in the middle, but you don't have to. You could put it over here on the right if you wanted, and then the soap dispenser. It's however you want to set it up, okay? So that's a good thing. They gave us that, and I'm going to use that for that hole there. Now again, I can't stress the importance of reading the directions, okay? You don't want to move any of this stuff out because it's got to be small enough to fit down through the hole. And on this one here, there's a red H right there, okay? And that's for your hot water. And then this other one, see there, right there, that's an actual C, and that's for your cold water. So you know, you hook up this to the cold water, this one to the hot water. And this one here, that's going to be for your hose extension. We're not going to hook it up just yet. We got to push this down through the counter and all that, and then we're going to have to take it back up underneath, and we're going to snap it right on there. It's like a quick connect. Now, that's kind of slick how they designed that. They used to have it where that was threads and you'd have to tighten it up, and it was really tricky to get your wrench back up in there to get that nice and snug, and then if it leaks, you know, it was just kind of tricky. Nowadays you just pop that up in there. So read your directions. Like I say, every faucet is slightly different. Now look around everywhere, because in the directions I might not see it other than on this little tag. I'm like, what's this tag for? It says, caution, do not allow tubes to twist during installation. Use a wrench to hold from twisting. Bent tubes void warranty for hot water side. Okay, this was the hot water side. And see, right here, there's a nut. It's kind of built into this threads. So before you tighten up the water supply to here, well, as you're doing it, before you tighten it all the way, you're going to have to hold this back side with a pair of pliers or a crescent wrench, whatever, as you're tightening that. Because if you don't want to just tighten that nut on there and keep tightening it, tightening it, tightening it without holding the back side, because then this copper tubing is going to start twisting, and then you're going to have damage up inside the faucet. Okay, same thing for the cold water side. Be careful and read those directions. I am really digging the clarity on these video clips. Are you enjoying this? Look how clear the picture is. That's because I've got my HD camera now, my high def video camera from Sony. It's working out really good. This is like the second time I've used it, and I'm liking it. Okay, I'm going to put Teflon tape on these. It's just, this is the stuff. It's called Teflon tape. And that's my little insurance policy, so when I go to install the water supply lines up to here, they're not going to leak. Okay, I've got to be real careful to do this, and as I do this, remember, does it matter which direction you put this? Yes. Do I want to go this direction, or do I want to turn around and go this direction? Well, what you got to think about is at the end of the tape, which way is the tape going to end? You want the tape to end and break off that going this direction, that way. Because then when the nut goes on there and tightens up, it's going to turn to the right. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, remember? So it's going to go to the right. And as your tape is going that way, it's going to bond and tighten your tape going the same direction as the nut. Because if you put this on the opposite direction, can you see what's going to happen? The tape is going to be coming up this way, and so when you tighten the nut, it's going to have a tendency to want to pull the tape and kind of scoot it backwards as you're tightening it. You're not going to get as nice and tight of a fit. Hey, you want the phone to go on? Just make a video. Okay, let's put the Teflon tape on there now. I just got it hung over the counter, and I'm doing it now so that it's easier for me to do it, to put it on, or else I'd have to do this upside down under the sink. Okay, I want to keep that tight. I'm going to kind of pull it tight and then go around, so I'm kind of stretching it as I'm putting it on. See, I'm going to give it just a few spins like that. I don't want to hang it over into here very much. I want to try to just concentrate on the threads only. Okay. Yeah, that's probably plenty. Hold on to it right here. Pull it off like that. And then take that and tighten it down. Okay. Now that's all ready. Now I can do the cold water side, and I got to be careful because see how, remember we want to keep these all tight as they go down through the hole, so I'm going to kind of pull this out just a hair, you know, so that I can wrap the tape around it down in here. Then I'll push this all back together so that I can put it down through the sink. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit more tricky, isn't it? You probably want to see it, huh? Okay. So now I got to hold my hand here, kind of swivel it over, and you want to try to keep this stuff flat. You know what I mean? As best you can, because then it's going to work better. Okay. And I could take this and break it off here, maybe about like that long. Now I can just be mindful, try to keep it flat because it'll scrunch over on top of itself. Okay. I get it. I can pull tight on it and then put more of it on like that. Okay. Just do that. See, I'm going the same direction as the nut is going to get on there and tighten to the right. Okay. See how the end of the tape is going that same direction. Okay, now I can, that'll be fine. Okay. Now I'm ready to put that down through the sink. Here's the base. I got to make sure the plastic fits on there where it's going to fit. I'm going to just kind of line that up like that. Let's see how this is going to work. Oh, you know what? I've got a little base piece that fits onto here first. Yeah. Let me get that on there.